Next on Worcester News tonight, knowing how to stay safe in the water. The state is offering free swimming lessons this summer. Plus, focusing on sportsmanship and nutrition. Former Patriots players host a free football camp for kids. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemmon. In the aftermath of almost a dozen drownings in the state this summer, some parents are concerned for their children's safety. The state is offering free lessons in hopes of teaching kids the basic skills they need in the water. Our Rosalind Flaherty joins us now with the details. Rosalind?
Olivia, the state is teaching them in many different locations, including right here in Worcester, so that every child has the opportunity to learn how to swim. Worcester is full on a warm summer afternoon. Many are here to cool off, and some will also learn a valuable lesson.
It's important to start the kids younger. Get them comfortable with water, and especially if you can't swim, to get them into a learn to swim program.
While some parents can afford to give their child swimming lessons, others cannot. It's why the Department of Conservation and Recreation offers free lessons starting at the age of 4.
They can learn the basic skill level in the water, in survival levels.
Since June, there have been at least 8 reported drownings in Massachusetts, including one in Worcester and one in Millbury. The state is teaching lessons at 14 locations, including the Shine Pool in Worcester. Classes are offered in 3 different levels.
At a level 1 stage, so you learn to acclimate to the water. Little by little, you get more comfortable on your front. You slowly introduce the back. You add distance or yardage and build stamina as you go.
DCR Aquatics Director Kevin Whalen says drowning is the leading cause of death among toddlers. He says they employ 700 lifeguards across the state, but says parents are the first line of defense.
I always tell people that, if everyone is responsible for watching a kid, then no one's responsible for watching the child. So it's always important, if you have a party, if you're with a group, that you have one adult that is clearly responsible for watching everyone that's in the water.
A big message he's trying to get across to kids and adults is to know your own capabilities and only swim in designated areas.
But you have all your faculties, that you're not compromised. Don't drink. Don't drink them when you're going into the water. Don't do the obvious things that you shouldn't be doing.
Now, they are offering 2-week sessions Monday through Friday throughout the summer. If you want more information, you can visit the state's website. Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Tonight, we are also hearing from the friend of a 13-year-old who drowned in Bell Pond last week. 13-year-old Omari Hector slipped under the water on the 4th of July in Worcester's Bell Pond. He was rushed to a local hospital where he later died. Tommy Vanassi and his father Dennis started a fundraiser for Omari's funeral services.
His family needed the support, and they needed to get money.
Tommy came to me, and when obviously very, very upset. We sat down, we talked about it, collaborated, and wanted to find a way to give back.
And the Vanassi say the last week has been difficult and everyone is having a hard time coping with his loss. Some residents in Charlton, upset with plans for a marijuana cultivation site in town, have filed a complaint in Worcester Superior Court. According to the Telegram, the complaint says the Board of Selectmen violated state laws by concealing negotiations with Valley Green Grow. The marijuana business plans to build a $100 million cultivation site, sales, and research center at Charlton Orchards. Selectmen approved the development plans in May and upheld the vote on June 19th. Leicester is considering a proposal which would bring a cultivation and research-based marijuana facility to the town. Assistant to the town administrator, Kristen Forsberg, says the center, Integrated Genetics and Biopharma Research, would be located on Route 9 at the Everlast Nursery property. It would not be accessible to the public. They would grow plants up to a certain point and then transport them to another location. She says they would conduct research creating strains which have little to no THC and can be alternatives to pharmaceuticals.
Actually kind of come full circle. We started with medical in Massachusetts, then we went to recreational. Now we have a cutting edge firm that's coming out and is doing some really innovative things with new strains and really trying to help kids and people that have medical conditions. So we're really excited that this type of industry is coming to town.
And a community outreach meeting was held Tuesday night. Forsberg says the next step is for the town administrator to negotiate a host community agreement with the farm. A false alarm in Worcester Wednesday as police investigate what originally appeared to be a human skull. After a quick investigation, detectives learned it was a fake synthetic skull. A wooded area off of East Mountain Street was blocked off with crime tape for several hours as investigators searched the woods. We spoke with the woman who called police. She says she saw the skull and thought it was a child's. In a tweet, Worcester police say there is no longer an investigation. A local food supplier is expanding their customer base. The owner of Let Us Be Local says a new service will allow not only restaurants and schools, but residents as well to pick up fresh produce. Our Chandler Walsh explains. Chandler?
Olivia, Let Us Be Local started out small, but in just 6 years, they're working with more than 100 local farms and dozens of businesses throughout Worcester. Lynn Cheney unloads produce in downtown Worcester. She delivers local food, trying to bridge the gap between farms and places like restaurants, schools, and breweries.
The idea of Let Us Be Local came from my frustration of wanting to go out to dinner and not having confidence in knowing where my food came from.
Cheney's also working to make local food more accessible for area residents. In the past few weeks, she started a new program for consumers to pick up food boxes at 4 Worcester businesses.
They have access to pretty much anything in my network, so they could get grain and flour, or they can get honey and maple syrup, all the produce.
Dead Horse Hill uses Let Us Be Local's service for their restaurant. The restaurant relies on locally sourced food, and chef owner Jared Foreman says Cheney's service is critical.
Being able to keep the quality up and then have a connection between the person who's growing our food and the person who's eating our food, and I can tell them that story.
The restaurant is also one of Let Us Be Local's consumer pickup locations. Just like the chef, people can select what goods they want and get a family-sized box each week.
You're not getting the same product over and over again. You're getting something new at its peak season.
Cheney started her business with 10 farms and 1 restaurant and now delivers from 100 area farms to 45 businesses in Worcester County.
The ultimate goal is to make local food more accessible and to help as many local farms as possible. And number one in my mind was to go direct to consumer at some point.
Cheney says there's plenty of local food year-round. They're getting ready for blueberry and corn season, and she says she has other plans in the works to bring more service to consumers. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
An Oxford manufacturing business will be closing its doors at the end of August. Technetics Group has already sold its land and facility on Old Webster Road to IPG Photonics, which will use the property to expand their neighboring business. Technetics says the decision reflects the current industrial gas turbine mark. They will continue to serve their customer through other plants. The company makes seals and other components for industrial customers. Massachusetts shoppers are one step closer to enjoying their first sales tax holiday in 3 years. Governor Charlie Baker signed a bill last month to make a permanent sales tax holiday, but it only takes effect next year. The House of Representatives has approved a sales tax weekend for this August 11th and 12th. The bill now goes to the Senate. A unique opportunity for students this summer to play football with former New England Patriots players. As our Brittany Schaefer explains, a football clinic in Shrewsbury is offering kids much more than just the skills of the game.
Hundreds of children ages 8 to 14 are participating in this free football clinic. Organizers say they have the opportunity to learn a variety of positions, including wide receiver and quarterback. It's the orders you typically hear from a football coach, but Wednesday these kids were running drills with former New England Patriots players.
Get them off the couch and away from a screen. It's just a camp. It's more like a community party.
This is the 10th annual free football clinic the New England Patriots Alumni Club has hosted in central Massachusetts. Former Patriots center and guard Pete Brock says they want to go out and make a difference in the community.
We feed them at the beginning. Some of the communities that we go in, we never know when the kids had their last meal, and we want them to have good nutrition and some hydration before we go out there. So it's a unique camp experience for the kids. If they've never played or ever played football, they'll get something out of this.
Audrey White and Aaron LeBranch were cheering on their 11-year-old daughter. The Worcester couple says it's great to see girls joining in on a male-dominated sport.
Anything to do with football, she's pretty much obsessed with it, and any chance she can get to play. So, you know, of course we signed her up, and she was just thrilled. Like,
you should have seen her face.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I thought it would crack.
Yeah.
She was smiling so big.
Yeah,
so.
she's thrilled. She's thrilled to be here.
The former Patriots players had children running drills all over St. John's baseball field.
Get downhill.
Brock says it's all about the kids.
It's great, especially when I get them up, you know, around me like that, and we're trying to get, you know, get it all started and stuff, and they just got this hope in their eye and a big smile on their face. It's really great.
Brock says the children are learning much more than just football skills. He says they're being outside, active, and learning the Patriot way. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.